What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Aftersound here, bringing you Splinterlands content every single day. We also stream right here on this channel every Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday morning, so come by and say hello. All right, guys, well, thank you for the feedback on the last kind of answering comments video that I did. I guess it was the first one. And a lot of people said that they like the format. So we're going to continue this, and I appreciate that because I like the format too. It kind of reminds me of the live streams, which I know I've been terrible at in terms of keeping to the schedule, but hopefully that will change over the next couple of months, or I'll have to change my schedule at some point because I do miss them. But it is just nice to be able to come in. I feel like I'm able to give a little bit more of a thoughtful response, acknowledge everything here, and yeah, it's just been good. So we will continue. I'm looking once again about 7 days out where I left off, so sorry to Christopher Charles. This is the comment from here backwards. I can't go back that far because there's already so many more comments coming in. So we're gonna start here with Crypto Hank. This is for the have ranked players, the ranked play changes push players away. So Crypto Hank is saying, yeah, I have a deck that I tested out with level 1 cards in Wild, went all the way up to gold in a few days. Sucks to have to rent SPS just to earn a chest a day, though. I mean, that's the thing. It shouldn't suck, right? That should be part of it, where it's like, yeah, people can come in with level 1 cards, they can bot the hell out of it, but they're not going to get anything unless they stake SPS. So I see that as a feature, not a bug, but I understand where you're coming from. Should leave players where they're set up. If you can't get out of silver with a gold deck, just learn to play. All right, Mammoth saying, in my opinion, they should remove, let's see. In my opinion, they should remove the season reset or at least reduce it. I have a champion 3 deck in Wild, and I started playing in Modern because silver 1 is as rewarding in SPS as champion 3. In Modern, I had to start over at the bottom of the ladder due to lack of time. I only reached silver 1 this season, so I will have to start over in silver 3, which is frustrating for true. I mean, they've already reduced it quite a bit. It used to be 3 full leagues down. Now it's a league and a half. So, I mean, how much more would you want them to reduce it? Okay, Cold As, same video. All right, the previous setup was fine, in my opinion. It just needed a few tweaks to incentivize people to move up rather than how it all went. Maybe we need time to see the actual outcome. At the moment, there is no incentive for a silver deck to play in Modern, and that is because of the changes. Tournaments were also changed, and there is also less fun and incentives to play with. At the moment, champ players are running the show, which is a bit annoying. I mean, again, let's finish this final season. I get where you're coming from, Cold As. There's two things right now. Let's finish this season to see if all the champ players eventually move up, and then on top of that, I do believe that the long-term plan is that we need more player liquidity, and that's, you know, obviously once the changes are done, the team wants to market this heavy and get more of the casual newer players out in bronze and silver. But again, will that work? We'll have to wait and see. Right now, we're in the middle of it, and it sucks. Okay, Get in the Magic, same video. Got to gold with a $10 account that has bronze cards. I don't have the SPS to earn enough reward shares, though. So that should incentivize people, even if you're botting over there, to get some more SPS or rent it if you want. Nick Plays Crypto, great video. On the Coinbase or Binance listing. Oh, man. So I don't want to be doing these like every single day, but there's just a lot of comments. So, and the reason I say this is because this is from like a week ago. Nick and I already had a conversation, which was great. Thanks for coming on the channel, Nick. So let's go ahead and jump into the next one. Firebolts says, I don't know about the new airdrop. Oh, this is the Groombardoon Smith killer airdrop. Okay. So I don't know about this new airdrop. I feel Splinterlands NFTs need another makeover, something more modern like Cyberpunk. Okay. So you're more talking about the artwork, I think. That's fair. I mean, it's your own personal preference. I don't know what else to say to that. All right, so is SPS decoupled from Bitcoin good or bad? Joffrey says, I bought $1,000 of Illuvium earlier today, 5 days ago. Well, I hope that worked out for you, Joffrey. Sherwin, bumped down to Silver League and now only getting 1 to 2 gold chests at the start of the season. I was stuck in gold tier 3 most of the time last season. Okay, so ranked overhaul, burning more DEC. All right, SPS decoupled. All right, so VJP, I think what's more concerning is that our supposed stablecoin is coupled with Bitcoin. Every time Bitcoin dumps, DEC goes with it. It's time to acknowledge that the product-backed stablecoin is never going to work. The sooner we completely remove the DEC from the ecosystem, the better, in my opinion. You know, unpopular opinion, but I kind of agree with you. So, I mean, I love the idea, and I think it's very innovative that Matt was trying to go with this product-backed stablecoin. I'm not trying to say that it's failed necessarily, because, but at the same time, it's definitely not succeeding at this current moment, right? So I just believe, similar to you, without evaluating DEC and how well it does and how decoupled it is or not, I just don't think we need it, right? Everything can be done priced in SPS for at market value, right? So think back to the way that actually even currently no licenses are sold or Rift Watchers were originally sold. And so if you just do it that way, then it's like, yeah, demand comes in naturally directly for SPS. People need to buy it. And again, is that system perfect? No, but we're seeing other games do it quite well with only one token. And I just think that there's an opportunity there. But again, I think we're too far gone on that already. All right, so let's see. John Wick saying, man, I think SPL is going to miss the bull run entirely. I always thought it was going to blow up, but wow, not much is moving at all. Yeah, well, look, you know what? Here's the thing. I think SPL is going to miss the bull run entirely. I mean, it's already started, right? The bull run is already here. Bitcoin's up from 16K all the way to like 60, 70K, right? So you're like, we've already started to miss it. It's not going to happen. It's already starting to happen. Now, the bull run can be long, right? It can go 12 to 18 months following the halving, but we'll have to wait and see. And again, I'm not worried. I know I acknowledge these things. I'm not worried. Again, from a gaming perspective, the game is totally fine in my opinion. From a financial perspective, yeah, that's going to suck for a lot of people who were hoping that there was going to be some major pumps if it does not happen this cycle. Okay, so SPS Decoupled. All right, so Pillock is saying, this is why Push and Shove token would be a nice case study. If it somehow eclipses SPS at launch, it could show the team and community what the game is lacking in terms of exposure. I agree. I mean, I don't know. I'm more interested in the DeFi side of how they're designing the V3 liquidity protocols on that. But I mean, part of the it was so funny. I was talking to someone yesterday. I was like, part of the reason that I bought it is because if it goes higher than SPS, I don't want to feel like I missed out, right? Like, I think that there's a chance just with meme coin culture these days that it absolutely rips up. But we'll have to wait and see how it goes. Like you said, it'll be a good case study. All right, so NFT Crypto Mix. Really love your show. I like the fact that burning DEC is happening, but I'm reminded there's DEC2, probably going to be DEC3, and just like DEC, we have SPS, but there could be SPS2 at any time. Bring on SPS2 to help the economy. Okay, so just want to correct this. So you're probably thinking about DECB, which was a one-time short-term thing where they were trying to burn excess DEC in the ecosystem. Now, keep in mind, this is something that was community driven, and the team decided to listen to the community and put this in. I don't believe we're ever going to have anything like that again. I think that there would probably need, I don't know if we would need a proposal because it's not SPS, but I don't think the appetite is there for it. I don't think it's necessary. So I think the fear of having DEC 3, 4, and onwards is no longer there. In terms of SPS, there always could be. I don't want to say never, but I don't think that I think the team could afford to do that right now. It would just devalue things even further. All right, SPS Decoupled. So Nomad is saying, I came to many of the same conclusions, which is why I rotated back in December. I pulled all my tokens and converted into some Solana and Cosmo, spread it around a few more popular projects. So I sold my bags at 3 cents. Well, that's actually at this moment in time, that was a good idea. Nearly everything I picked up has gone up significantly, while SPS is actually down from when I sold. I'm keeping my cards, not willing to take that hit, but I've lost faith in the team's ability to position us properly in the bull run and decided that I need to position myself. Well done doing that for yourself. I think that was a great move. If you're familiar with Darkest Night, maybe there's some new people here who don't remember Darkest Night. I mean, he sold a ton of his SPS for Bitcoin when Bitcoin was at 25K, and he's like been laughing all the way to, I want to say laughing all the way to the bank, but I think in the Web3, laughing all the way to his hardware wallet. I don't know, what are we calling this in the future? And so it's been a good move for anybody that jumped out at that time. Now here's the thing. I'm the same as you. I'm keeping my cards. Sorry, I shouldn't say it say it that way. It's not that I've lost faith in the team's ability to position us properly in this bull run. I think that they've just suffered too many setbacks. And you can say a lot of those might be self-imposed, right? And you wouldn't be wrong necessarily, but they've just suffered too many setbacks that the lead that they had all this time to build during the bear market was filled with a lot of other things that, now that we're in a position to actually focus on the flywheel is getting activated. That's happening 5 months before the Bitcoin halving, when it could have been happening 15 months before the Bitcoin halving. And we could have seen some major things going on, right? Throughout all of 2023. I look at 2023 as mostly a wasted year, or at least half a year. Q1 I thought was great. Q2 and Q3 were just sad, right? But, again, for me, it's long term, right? I was just talking with New Age. Shout out to New Age. He was here, so we grabbed dinner last night, which was actually awesome. But I was telling him, I'm like, even if we miss this cycle, I think we'll be fine. I actually think we'll be fine in the long run. It's just a matter of being patient. I have confidence in the team's ability to get things done. But to your point, I don't know if that confidence is there for them to get it done this cycle. But I think with crypto going up, they'll be fine. And I'm going to make a separate video on this just because it was such a good conversation last night. So I'll leave it there, Nomad. Oh, lots of follow-up comments here. Okay, did you notice people are unstaking SPS? This is the video. The important site says, I am unstaking, and the reason is simple. I will sell. SPS seems to miss the bull run. Land wasn't the second airdrop. Its rewards are ridiculous, even with low utilization. And the biggest reason, gold miners and others made it very clear. The only thing that can save SPL is a listing, but then we learned a listing is far away because of licenses. Better to invest elsewhere instead of holding dead money. I still like the game, but we will see a new all-time low while most other games see all-time high. And it is zero. Oh, and it's zero to do with ranked play. I like it. That's kind of where I'm at too. Sorry, I'm not going to go into all the follow-up comments here. That's kind of where I'm at too. Like, I don't think that there would ever be a point where I would sell my cards, right? Because from a gaming perspective, I enjoy it. I've always been trading SPS back and forth, and it's been good, right? I mean, the community is actually very predictable if you can spot those trades, right? And then I have my moon bag, which a lot of people are starting to sell their moon bag, and that's fine, right? Because I'm willing to hold my moon bag for, I don't know, years at this point. But similar to you, like, or I don't know if this is similar to you, I guess similar to the last person, like, I'm not going to sell my cards. But that's just because I enjoy playing the game for what it is. And I do believe that they will continue to make the game a better and better experience. Okay, so Vlogging says, unfortunately for the game, they might be doing the right thing, swapping the SPS to some meme or whatever. On the other hand, if it dumps back close to a penny, I might find it the right thing to add more. Yeah, I mean, what's funny is I've spoken with several people who are so incredibly bullish on the game, and they're still expecting a 1 cent SPS. So yeah, what does that tell you, right? Like, and they're like looking forward to buying at 1 cent, but they're expecting it, meaning that like they're looking at the current situation, even within a bull run, and saying, nah, you know what? It's going to go down another 50%. So what does that tell you? Okay, Broken Busted says, they kept preaching at the end of last year, land, be patient. They have done jack with land. They don't even have grain, LP, or titles. How hard is it to program a title? Sorry, I'm making this family friendly, even though this is not a family friendly channel. All right, so while just about every other game is growing by leaps and bounds, I should have gotten into big time, a project who actually onboards, actually delivers, actually makes good changes. Have to many OG players selling that hopium just because they made out like fat cats last time. Splinterlands, boom. Look, I'm not going to disagree with you. I think you are very much on the money here. Land was supposed to be, going into this year, land was supposed to be a huge portion of like what they were focusing on. If you remember, I think at the end of last year, they talked about what was on the roadmap, and they said land and new player experience. Now, to their credit, they have done a fantastic job with new player experience in terms of getting it done way faster than I would have expected. But your criticism on land is spot on. I was under the impression that 1.6 was not very far away, or at least certain elements of 1.6. And, here we are at the end of Q1, essentially, and we haven't gotten anything. So I can understand, and I even agree with that criticism. And, I will just, that's where we have to go. That's what it is. All right, so Andrew saying, no doubt sparked by the recent exchange pre-proposal and how the big stakers are against T1 exchanges. Yeah, we don't care about the extra requirements to make big stakers support the proposal. Big concern on whether the team has enough runway with pack sales shrinking every edition and their inability to raise money from VCs. Just sell that SPS and move on to something else so you don't miss out on the bull run. That is Andrew's financial advice for you guys. Let's see. Is there anything I want to comment on here? Big concern is... So, I haven't been tracking the pack sales, but them shrinking is definitely not an insignificant thing. In terms of runway, though, I have to imagine... Aggie always talked about the fact that the team holds a good amount of cryptos, and with Matt being much more conservative, I'm not worried about the runway anymore. And I have no insider knowledge to any of this, right? I'm just talking about the fact that, like, It doesn't come up as a concern. It doesn't seem like Matt's concerned. They are just focused on building, which is where I was hoping they would have been like a year ago, but they're doing it now, so better late than never. But in terms of Runway, I would assume with Bitcoin going up, with crypto going up in general, they're probably in a better position, and I trust Matt's conservative mindset to keep them in a good spot, not just for this cycle, but maybe even like the next cycle, even if SPS doesn't pump. Okay. Let's see. Bruce says, I see a lot of comments about the listing, but it's not the only way to make SPL rise in value. New player experience is coming and some marketing stuff is coming too. People leaving. Fine, I'll fill my bags. All right, Bruce is still bullish. Vilton says, I think it might just be some people that had SPS and don't play anymore that just found an opening to sell now, plus people that don't like the changes. It is what it is. I think it will be more sell pressure before 4 cents. All right, so another person is thinking that we're going down. Now, this was like 5 days ago, so I'm trying to remember if that was before like the big Bitcoin dump. But, I'm not even going to think too hard about that. All right, SendaEpics says, one thing that is driving me away is the brawls. My guild is running an average of second place now. With the new rules, we automatically went to 6th place. We would have been second place with without the rule set change. Okay, here's the thing, though. You got to get more people into your guild. That's just what it comes down to, which... I mean, with the player base declining, that's not necessarily the easiest thing, but I get it, man. I get the frustration, but I think I agree with the changes to the rule. It just makes sense. If you don't have enough, like, if anything, this should help consolidate guilds, right? I know people are looking at guilds and they're like, oh man, I put so much money into it before guild power and all that, but maybe we just need to consolidate guild at this point. At least you can take what you put in now or previously over the last 6-7 months. Or actually almost a year. No, I guess it went live over the summer. So like 9 months, and you'll be able to take 90% of that with you. Okay. User says maybe some extra staking, was happening for the initial colony airdrop. This is incorrect because there was nothing for, there was nothing for the fork, but you could be right that people were staking some for the airdrop, but that has not begun yet. So it wouldn't make sense for people to sell now. That was the fork was only for GLX. Okay. Let's see. How long is this video now? I don't want them to get too out of hand. Okay. We'll do a couple more. Let's see. We're still 4 days behind, but maybe we'll do some more videos over the weekend. Or more comments over the weekend. All right, so compare the market cap of other games like Gods Unchained, Alien Worlds versus Splinterlands. Splinterlands' market cap is around 10% of the other two. On a positive note, that's a lot of upside if SPS catches on. I agree. I mean, Splinterlands is a micro cap game. So when you look at this on the risk profile, right, we are highly risky, but there's also tremendous upside. And so if you're going to compare it to other games that are already higher in market cap, meaning that they already have, maybe some financial backing, they already have a lot of exposure. I talk about this when I look at Parallel, and this is not financial advice, right? I'm just giving this example because it was from a conversation I had with Darkest Night recently, where I'm just like, I look at what is the chance of Parallel and Prime, like the Prime token for Parallel, doing a 10x versus Splinterlands doing 100x, right? What are the probabilities there? And then I allocate accordingly, right? And again, that's just between two projects. Obviously, my portfolio is more than that. But I'm just saying, like, when you look at where these games are, I look at Prime, for example, I think that it has a higher chance of doing a 10x than Splinterlands does 100x. So how would you allocate in that position, right? How would you allocate your funds and whatever? So again, that's up to each individual person. This is not financial advice. This is not investment advice. I'm just saying that that's what I look at when I'm considering, where the returns could be. What is more of a sure thing, even though there's nothing sure or guaranteed? What is more of a sure thing, even if the returns aren't as high, right? Because many times I would be more conservative and look at, even like Bitcoin and say to myself, man, if I know Bitcoin is going to do well in a bull run, right? It's going to lead the bull run. I would probably want to park some capital there because I know that, when we were at like 50K that we could do another 2, 3x, 4x. I don't know, right? I don't know exactly, but I just know that Bitcoin is going to be leading the charge. So there's definitely some capital there. Okay. But actually that's a bad example from me specifically. That's more hypothetical because I'm not trading Bitcoin. I just want to have as much of it as possible. All right. So Vishkal says, because of the new rule, SPS is going down. I'm assuming you meant the changes to ranked. Okay, so did you notice people are unstaking? So Kazrak says, I'm unstaking a few thousand SPS per week right now. Was taking some small profits with the small uptick in SPS value we've had. Never selling the SPS though. Always burning for DEC and selling that. Any SPS coming out of my account is never going to leave again. Well, we thank you for your sacrifice, Kazrak. You're not selling, but you are burning. All right, so Paul says, as long as we are giving out 1 million SPS inflation per day, unless SPS is given more utility than it has, then it'll be tough to raise the price in the short term. We're still in distribution phase for SPS for 2.5 more years. In fact, it's longer than that. It's 3.5 for some of the pools, because like the LP pool, the SPS battle reward pool, the guild brawl pool, all of that started a year later. So that's actually 3.5 years for each of those. The node licenses even came out in 22 as well. So that's another like 3.5 years. So it's just SPS staking and tournaments, I think, that started in 2021. Sadly, unstaking takes 4 weeks, says Mario. Sell SPS, buy BOEM, not financial advice. Really good chat, guys. Well, thank you. I thought it was, I had a good time too. All right. So can it be that Hive want to take their fund like they did with Steemit? I don't know. I wasn't around during that time. I hope not, if that was a bad thing that led to the Steam's downfall, but it is what it is. All right. So Nick, you're saying the right thing at 26:40 minutes is the most important thing. The value is the thing SPS has, or volume is the thing SPS has waiting for. Okay. Interesting. Okay, chat with Nick. All right, I think we need to limit the people who can vote on proposals. The CEO, founder, and any current team member by Splinterlands cannot vote due to conflict of interest. I mean, look, it's an interesting thought, but we're trying to build a decentralized space here, which it's not perfect. So I understand where you're coming from with the conflict of interest, but I don't think we should ever stop anybody from voting. If the team was voting with team purchased. With team SPS, meaning like it was allocated to them, then yeah, there might be an issue there. So because I want to address the conflict of interest thing, right? The team has not taken any of that was allocated for the team, right? In fact, they've given some of it up for Soul Keep, and we'll have to wait and see, because they talked about I think legal reasons that they haven't dipped into that yet. Meaning that all the SPS from the CEO, founders, and all that was given to them for like either airdrop or investments that they made or things like that. Now, the conflict of interest, interestingly enough, to your point, comes in with the fact that they designed how that airdrop worked, right? So they could look at it and say like, oh, you know what? I have a ton of DEC, or I have a ton of cars, I have whatever. So let's give X, Y, Z, right? So it definitely exists there. But in terms of like where the current proposals are, I don't think that you could ban anybody, including them. I think that would just be inappropriate at this point. All right, Elistio has been selling over 100K SPS over the past 2 weeks, trying to find buyers for my cards and land. But this is a long one. All right, we'll finish off with this. And do we hit 3 days? Oh, no, not quite. Okay, we'll finish off with Elistio. Shout out to Elistios. I appreciate the thoughtful comments from you and everybody else. Even if they're not, not bullish. I think it's great. I think it's important and great for us to be as open-minded and objective here as possible. All right, so been selling over 100K SPS. Sorry, I'm going to skim through some of this. Tired to see my stash go down while every other project 10x's. List of what you should have delivered back 1 year ago. Land. If delivered in time, more people would have been part of land. More cards on land, less cards on the market. I agree. We expected land 1.5 in June, and it did not come until November. And I know a lot of people who left in that time frame. Unfortunately, tower defense was also supposed to be using SPS staking as well as card staking. Less cards on the market. Yet again, most use case for SPS. Once again, I agree. We were told that would come in Q1 of last year and then Q2 of last year, and it's still not here. So you're on point there. Guild building change hinted as to what was. This one hurts my heart. Possible infinite staking, infinite amount of cards on guild buildings in order to boost something for our guild gameplay. Again, this was infinite card sync that has been announced to be in place by the end of the year 2023. You're right that they wanted to do guild alliances at the end of 2022. That was on the roadmap. So it was 2023, and Dude, Elysius, you're on fire. 3 for 3 so far. All right, let's go to the final one. All of the above should have created a huge scarcity on cards overall, making cards super expensive, making DEC price go up on SPS, which both in due time would make bigger rewards for everyone. Splinterlands could have become a money printing game again, bringing tons of new players, creating even more scarcity, SPS in the land, all Splinterlands assets potentially going up. What went wrong? All of the above never happened. Even now as we speak. False promises that never got delivered. Of course, all the previous analysis of market gets screwed by not delivering and bring even more people to leave the game, reducing investors' morale and slowly killing the market. Well, Elysius, look, I mean, I think your analysis is spot on. There's nothing that I can disagree with here, outside of the fact that, you know, in terms of like low tie preference, I'm looking at this and still thinking to myself, do I want to sell at a low? I don't, right? So, and I've said this before, I outside of like buying SPS, you know, a little SPS recently for the, you know, switching to my bot, a lot of the capital that I have, and I don't talk about it here, right? Because this is a gaming channel, not an investment channel, but a lot of the capital that I have has been going into other projects. And I don't think that it's wrong for anybody to want to diversify out or explore other things. In fact, I encourage it, right? I highly encourage it. I think that there's a lot of really cool things happening within the Splinterlands ecosystem. From a game perspective, but from an investment side, we've talked about it at length here, right? There's still major distribution happening. There's not enough utility. And to your point, there hasn't been the delivery that we were hoping for, that we were told would come in. And, you know, that's now you will, for example, you are at a point where you've evaluated the team, you've seen enough, and you are going to, you know, sell and go to another place that has much more potential in your opinion. I don't think that's the wrong thing to do. I'm not going to shame anybody here for selling, all right? But at the same time, I can also disagree with your, I shouldn't even say disagree. I can also like agree with your statements, agree with your analysis, and choose to do the opposite, right? Choose to say, well, I may not be putting any more in, right? Or I may be putting things into other projects, but I just don't see the need in selling right now, especially because, and this is where you and I differ. I enjoy the game, right? I think you got bored of the game a while back, saying it hasn't like, you know, evolved or anything compared to other games in the space. You're not wrong, but at the end of the day, I do think games are like a personal preference. You know, like you're not going to love every game out there. And I do think that we got a lot of people coming in 2021 to the game because the earnings were so high. And now that the earnings are not, they're seeing that, well, if I wasn't getting paid, would I be playing Splinterlands, right? And yeah, so that's just where things are at. But I appreciate the thoughtful comment, Elysios. I wish you well wherever you decide to put your capital. And yeah, I hope we get to chat more about your successes in the future. But guys, that is all I have for you. That is all I have for you in this video. Oh my gosh, this video got super long. Hopefully you guys are still enjoying the format. Like I said, I'll try to get more. I guess I'll have to do these a little bit more often just because you guys are awesome in terms of leaving comments here. And hopefully that'll encourage you to leave comments here more because like I said, I'm trying to get to all of them. But I guess that becomes a death spiral at some point. But I love you guys. Have an amazing rest of your day. I'll catch you all in the next video and see you around the game. Take care.